It had some hair-raising times as well, trying to get it through the door and across the line. I'm Lindsay Marie Armstrong. I'm an associate professor at the University of Southampton. I work in the mechanical engineering department. I'm also the academic cluster lead for IDRIC, for our Solent cluster. So I'm working with various different people from different universities to try and tackle challenges in decarbonisation. I also do research in computational modelling to try and design and optimise different chemical engineering reactors. So it kind of bridges a little bit of mechanical engineering with chemical engineering. It's very strange I ended up in an engineering world when to be honest, I didn't know what it was. And I remember doing various quizzes at school to try and filter out various questions and work out where you should be going. And mechanical engineering kept coming up as top. And I was like, I don't want to look under the bonnet of a car. No, because I didn't know anything otherwise. So I did maths, and I think that's because my parents were very much, do maths, it gets you into everything, it gets you everywhere. One of my other inspirations as a child was anything to do with art, colourful, graphics, anywhere. I absolutely loved that. But I still gravitated towards maths, and I've kept that burning. So when I ended up doing my degree, I did a maths degree up in Newcastle, I discovered computational fluid dynamics and just went, oh, colourful art, and then that's what essentially got me where I was. And it's not the conventional way to get in to do engineering, I think, but it got me here. Computational fluid dynamics is all about how you take mathematical equations based on physics to basically define how a fluid behaves, how the mass of the fluid moves around and how fast it moves around. It might be looking at an emission stream which has carbon dioxide in it and asking, how do we actually take that CO2 away from all the other products in the emission stream? How we can design the reactors, to optimise the reactors, to maximise their performance. We still don't have engineering as an isolated subject in itself at school. I think we're missing a trick there, to be honest. I think it's a way of helping people to actually visualise physics in itself and solve problems, any problems, doesn't matter what that problem is. And a lot of people do it, even at school, they just don't realise that they're exhibiting key engineering skills. And I clearly was, I just didn't know what it was. And I want to inspire the next generations to think there are different ways of doing something and not being scared to do it. Okay, so thank you to whoever asked this question. What do you think will change the attitudes of members of the public towards climate change? What will it take for people to listen? I don't think it's going to be a single one thing that's going to create a shift in the public to understand what's really needed. You've got communities who get it, you've got communities who don't. There has been a bit of a shift since COP26 from different communities, but to keep that momentum maintained still needs a lot more education front to the public. I think apart from the education side, we're starting to see climate behaviour happening. I mean, we are literally sat today on what is potentially predicted the hottest day the UK has faced ever from what we've seen. So we're starting to see shifts, and climate change is attributed towards that. So the more and more these extreme events are happening, people will become more aware that way. But I feel that's a bit too late. But we had a guy come into us called Alex Lewis, and some of you may know him, who had no arms and no legs because he lost them due to strep A. And he said, we want to climb the highest mountain in Ethiopia. How are you going to make us do this? It's completely different to the day job. Love a challenge, absolutely love a challenge. We worked with Alex, we worked with his team. This was very hands-on and this was great fun. Manufactured, tested, did a number of test runs in Salisbury Plain. Absolutely brilliant. And then in September 2019, he climbed the highest mountain in Ethiopia, Ras Dashan. And it was just a phenomenal achievement. I think it's another clear demonstration of getting the power of people together, getting a challenge. Doesn't matter how big the challenge, because let's face it, the whole project was, it had some hair-raising times as well, trying to get it through the door and across the line. But at the same time, it happened. This is exactly what we need for net zero as well. We need to get everyone together. We need to heads together. We need to tackle that collectively, just like any engineering challenge that we have to do.